Hey guys, so this morning I am doing my video for you while I am making breakfast, lunch, and dinner because today's a busy day and I didn't get a video in yesterday, and that was mostly because yesterday was also a busy day. I had to go to the dentist, and I found out because calcium was going to other parts of my body. I have cavities, which is something I haven't had to deal with in years. So that's going to be fun. And I went to a seminar for orthopedics, not with my orthopedic doctor, but with a my mom's orthopedic doctor. And it was pretty cool. It was explaining how a plant-based diet is the way that you need to go to get healthier. And it didn't just go over, meat is bad. It went over why meat is bad, which is why I liked watching What the Health. It goes over how your body, things who are supposed to eat meat have the antibody for lactic acid. And what is lactic acid? Lactic acid is that stuff you get called gout. You get it if there's too much lactic acid buildup. You get it in your feet sometimes. And there's two ways to get rid of it. Well, one, you can take a medication, and two, you can take the medication and take the steps towards a healthier lifestyle. So, which one are you going to do? Well, for most people, they just want to take the medicine and that be it. But for me, the way I would do it and the way people should do it is they should take the steps to omit the lactic acid from their diet. Where does lactic acid come from? Lactic acid comes from the amino acids that's in meat when digested in your body. See, because when you're eating amino acids in a plant-based diet, it's processed differently in your stomach. It actually processes correctly, especially if you take it like in a pill. Like I know there's a lot of people who take amino acids in a pill because you do need amino acids. But when you take amino acids from a animal, all it does is create holes in your gut. Hello, Zoe. You want a banana? You want a banana? I always have my dog with me when I'm cutting up stuff. Anyway, if you can cut up holes into your gut, right? And the cutting up of the holes is the result of lactic acid buildup. I mean, the cutting up in the stomach leads to lactic acid buildup because what your body does is it not only fights the amino acids, it fights everything else in your body. And because it thinks that everything coming in is bad for you, because it confuses the cells. And the only prevention to getting gout is to eat a plant-based diet. Now, everyone's like, oh, that's such a boring diet, where's all the meat? I made almost crab yesterday, and it was pretty darn good. And that's coming from like a seafood lover, because I especially love my seafood. I really believe that eating a plant-based diet depends on how much you are willing to look beyond what you see, and how much you're willing to admit, hey, this is a cool way to eat stuff. For dinner, if you can see all of the spices that I have out, you have to know how to add the spices. Now, you can go to a home economist and buy, You can go to Nature's Sun, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, and you can get pre-made wraps, you know, in their little meal sections. Or you can learn how to make them by getting a vegan cookbook. And what a vegan cookbook is going to tell you is not only how to prepare raw meals, but it's going to tell you how to prepare cooked meals. And it's going to teach you how to either buy your dressings, or it's going to teach you how to make them. The books that I have, they're pretty good. Some of the dressings, the Rhonda's no oil salad dressing, I do not agree with. I only use part of it, and I'm happy with that. I just don't agree with soaking almonds overnight is a pain in the butt. Soaking anything overnight is a pain in the butt. I mean, unless it's a bean, because, you know, beans react different when you soak them. But when you soak almonds overnight, if you're going to soak an almond overnight, you might as well be making almond butter. And I feel like that's as far as it should go. Like, you shouldn't have to, and yes, I washed all of this before, in case you're wondering why I'm pulling it out of a bag. You shouldn't have to go to that extent to deal with almonds. And that's the way I feel. And if they're telling you to make almond butter in the recipe, you can go pick it up. My mom does make some pretty darn good almond butter, but almonds are expensive, and honestly so is almond butter. But when you weigh out your time, and you're probably going to get almond butter. And some of the recipes, like in this book, like it's almond butter with celery and raisins, you can use peanut butter. You don't have to use almond butter. So you need to like pick and choose where you need to use almond butter. Now, if it's telling you to use almond butter in a dish where it's a paste, definitely use the almond butter, only because it's going to taste better. But other than that, you really shouldn't have to worry about it. What is it, Zoe? What is it? Do you want a carrot? Let me find you a carrot. My dog loves carrots. Sit. Sit. There you go. You know you have a good dog if it likes to eat the fruits and vegetables you like. Now, I'm not an advocate on people feeding their dog vegan, because I believe that that's just silly. But I am an advocate on them eating the apple cores when you don't want to throw them away, or you're too lazy to throw them away because you're in a wheelchair. But, like, it's always good to have a dog in the room when you're putting stuff up, I believe, because if you drop something on the floor, the dog's going to eat it. Like yesterday, my dog ate 5 carrot stubs. I purposely dropped like 3 of them. And then she ate the lettuce that was on the floor, and she ate a couple of grapes that fell on the floor. And I think it's really cute that she'll eat that. Because, you know, dogs are supposed to be complete carnivores. But what I found out, because of research, is that dogs aren't actually complete carnivores. And that's why your dog, like you'll see your dog eating grass, and it's to calm their stomach down. And my dog loves fruit and vegetables. Her sister, not so much. Her sister will stare at it like you're kidding, right? But Zoe, she'll eat almost anything you give her. And it's funny. She managed to eat a walnut yesterday, which I'm trying to figure out how she ate it. I thought that it was a apricot seeds, but then I was like, we haven't had apricots. Anyway, it's really cool. to watch the dog and stuff like that. You see what I'm doing? Prepping all of the meals into separate containers. I got these containers on Amazon for really cheap. I got the circle ones and I got the rectangle ones that, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you see them on Instagram. I like these because, one, they're easy to clean, and two, you can prep all of your food and you don't have to worry about getting plates out. You don't have to worry about having enough room in the kitchen for this giant bowl from hell. And it's just a great thing to have. I feel. I can't talk on the juice, sorry. We have a juicer, but I like to squeeze with my hands because I just do. It's just more satisfying. Like if you're having like a bad morning. I wasn't having a bad morning, but if you're having a bad morning, there's nothing like squeezing the hell out of a piece of fruit to make you feel better. So that was all of the breakfast. And now you saw me putting less stuff into this container than I did the other three. That's because I'm preparing for 4 different people. My grandma eats about 1/3 of what we do. So her container always has less than what mine is. And what I'll do, if I can find my expo marker that I have hidden under all of this food. Let me go get an expo marker. What I will do is I take an expo marker, just use this one, and I write on the thing who it's for and what meal it is. So for this one, I would put Grandma, and I have to put the date because sometimes I'll make things 2 days in advance. And it's really simple, and it's something that you just wouldn't think of, but it works. And then the rest of these don't matter, so I just put whoever. But it's little things like that that's going to help you get through being vegan. Because especially if you're doing the raw boot camp like we're doing, it's a lot to bite off of, and I'm not gonna lie, and that's part of the reason why I'm doing my video while I'm chopping everything up. It's just a lot to do, and some people aren't ready for the challenge to do a lot, which unfortunately is a sad part of life. And people are like, oh, well, I have kids and I don't have time to do this. You don't have to do extravagant meals like this. It'll get boring. But you don't have to do extravagant meals like the ones that I'm doing. There are a lot of simple recipes in here that don't require as much time and effort. I personally don't like having the same thing every day, which is why I took initiative to make all of these things. There's also some really cool websites online. My mom showed me one the other day. There's all these really cool websites online that teach you how to prep everything in one day for like 4 or 5 days, which I think is cool. But you can't have things like almost crab or almost tuna because like parsnips, they just don't save well. Do you want another carrot? I've got like tons of carrots because we used to have a hamster and we accidentally bought carrots. And there's all these carrots in there. I'll be right back. Excuse me. Excuse me, Zoe. Watch your tail. Watch your tail. Right. So I have half of a lemon that I don't really need, so I'm just gonna put over here. Now my next meal. Oh, another thing is at the beginning of the day, if you're like me, you like to do everything all at once. I made my own little bookmarks out of long pieces of paper. Put breakfast, and I just stick them into the book. Obviously, on the days that it's one of those things where you wouldn't think that a bookmark would help so much, but it actually does. It helps so much that it's insane. Like, you just would not think. I have to read these directions really quick. Okay. This is telling me to make almond butter, but I have the stuff to make an almond butter. So, I have almond butter, so I don't even have to worry about that. I'm gonna go wash this off really quick. What do you want? You want the celery? Do you want the celery? You want the celery? Oh, look. Leaves fell on the floor and she's picking it up. Excuse me. Now, if you have a dog that jumps on the counter while you're doing stuff, I wouldn't advocate having your dog in your room. But if you have a cutesy pootsy dog like I do, he just kind of sits there. Notice I'm using different knives for different things as I drop my pin on the floor. I don't know. I'm sure that there's some kind of cooking tutorial that tells you what knife to use. I've just learned over the years that this works better for me. You usually want to use a serrated knife for anything that has a skin. So like apples, when you're cutting up pineapples or watermelon. Celery works better with this. Trying to think. I can't think off the top of my head, but like with anything, you learn that different knives work with different things. Like I said, I know that there's a tutorial, and as soon as I can find a YouTube channel that will explain it for you, I will tag them into the comments, and I will so that you guys have resources on what kind of knife to use for different things. Like, I remember, like, you know how like with steak, how you always use a serrated knife, and they call it a steak knife because it's got like little edges on the end of it. It's the same thing for like an apple or an orange or a lemon or a pineapple or a watermelon. And I use the same knife to cut up the banana, obviously, just because convenience. But it really doesn't matter at all. See, I've already cut up my tomatoes. This is actually for another meal, and we ended up cooking it. And it was that cabbage soup that I made the other day. If you follow me on Instagram, you know what I'm talking about. We just didn't put tomatoes in it, so I still had leftover tomatoes, which was great because that's just one less tomato that I have to cut. Makes my life easier. Now this is my, I won't say it's my least favorite part, because it is grating and grating carrots. It's fun. Oh, I don't have anything else. Grating carrots is one of those things where it's going to take time, and you don't want to cut yourself. Anyway, I just wanted to make this video really quick to tell you guys it's going to be hard to go vegan, but you got to have your resources. You have to be willing to go buy the vegan cookbook. You need to know what the difference between vegan and vegetarian is. Vegan is obviously nothing made out of an animal. You also need to be aware of what you put on your face, because I found out some makeup has animal products in it. And I figure since we're not gonna ingest it, we should put it on our faces either. No, I just feel like that's a thing. Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. There's your carrot. Like, I had no idea that makeup could be vegan. Like, I knew it could be animal cruelty free, but I didn't know that it could be animal cruelty free and still not be vegan. Like, I had no idea that was a thing. And you also find out, like, when you're researching makeup, that some makeup, like MAC, because it's sold in China, by law, they have to test it on animals before they can give it to humans. So you need to take into account that while it may not be animal cruelty free in the U.S., I mean, in China, it is in the U.S. And that's just something that you're going to have to make a moral decision on. And I don't think that you should not, in my opinion, I don't think that you should not buy a makeup just because in China they have a law that it has to be tested on animals, but in the U.S. it doesn't. Like, MAC was animal cruelty free for a long time, but then they started selling it in China and the laws are different there. And Sephora, some of their makeup is not animal cruelty free either. So that's just something that you're gonna have to live with, I guess. It's a choice that you have to make. That's all I'm gonna say. Anything else on it? It's just a choice. I would personally still eat I would personally still use the MAC products. I'm not that I can afford it, but I would still use the MAC products, even though they're not animal cruelty free here. And pre-washed vegetables are the best thing in the world, but you gotta eat them quick. These are pre-washed cucumbers, in case you're wondering. What do you want? Oh, she wants another carrot. You want a carrot? You want a carrot? Sit. I love my dog. If anyone's wondering, my dog does have one blue eye. If you did see it, you're not crazy. She's got one blue eye on one side and a dark, pretty much black eye on the other side. She's really cute. And her sister is exactly the same way. Zoe's right eye is blue and River's left eye is blue. So they're pretty cute. I'm just going to leave off here because it's been 23 minutes and I've been rambling. It's day 7. I'm going pretty strong. I've learned to prep all of my meals in the morning because I'm not going to do it at night. I'm just, after like 5 o'clock, I'm no good. So I would rather get up at 3 a.m. and start prepping all this stuff. Obviously I didn't this morning because it's daylight, but that's how I'm going to do it. You guys keep eating plant life.